Hey, what's up? How's it? Aloha. Welcome to Culturize. It is me, Makani. This is the space we get to talk story, we get to learn, we get to share culture, anything and everything, whether it's social, whether it's ethnic, whether it's native cultures. We're talking with people that are doing things. And of course, if you're joining us, don't forget hit the subscribe button. If you're joining us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, all those things to validate my existence. Follow us on social media. I got to get that out of there because I got scolding from Andrea earlier because I didn't say it at the end. So we got to create this space because we are in Hawaii, and this is what we do to create space when we sit with important people. Mahalo, Kanaka Kid. All right. Kanaka Kid, that's how he pays rent. He does that, and he can sleep at my house. Follow him. Speaking of following, follow the Kanaka Kid on YouTube if you want to know what, as he says, what it's like to be a young Kanaka in today's society. Sitting in front of me right now, I can't be more humbled and privileged. We go back a few years, and we're going to talk about all the things and all the shenanigans, but this is how I want to preempt you because I like when you always say this. Sitting in front of me is a Kanaka doing Kanaka things, right? Kimo Leong, Kanaka Solutions. You've seen him. You've heard him. A lot of people see him as like, who is that guy? I see him everywhere. I'm going to throw out some titles, and I always do this when we bring guests. Kanaka, MAKUA, parent, Kiai, protector of things, Kumu, I mean, even the things that you say, you teach people. What title would be most important to you?
I guess uncle.
Good one.
Guardian.
Guardian, nice.
Gatekeeper.
I like it. I like it.
And you know the crazy part is, maybe 5 years ago, you wouldn't hear those words out of my mouth, but I've come to accept it. And that's what people look at me as. That's what people appreciate what I do. Some people don't. But again, I've finally come to terms and actually accepted it.
And I want to get into that a little bit deeper too, a little bit later, because we're talking about Kuleana, accepting our Kuleana, because you and I had a deep conversation about that. Before we get into that, so those that don't know, a lot of people see you, right? We talked about these titles. Oh, this guy, he's Kiai this, and he's security here, and he does this, and he does that. Where were you from? Or where are you from?
So born and raised in Kalihi.
Kalihi?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where specifically in Kalihi?
Camp Fort Road.
Mean.
Right there by Jack in the Box, where in the old days, the runaway truck got stopped by the mango tree right there by Jack in the Box on Camp Fort Road.
You see, that's such a cultural thing. I tell people all the time, when we talk to local people, we're going to be so specific in where we're from because there's a pride to that, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a pride to that. And as soon as you said right by Jack in the Box, because everybody's thinking Kamehameha Road. It's a long road.
It's a long road.
As soon as you said right by the Jack in the Box, I guarantee you those that know are like, I know where. Yeah. I know where. So born and raised there. Where did you go to high school?
So I went to University Lab.
Really?
High school.
I had no idea. How's me? Wow.
I don't tell everybody that kind of stuff.
Now you know. Now you not Kalihi, but come on, University Lab School.
No. Back in the 80s, we was fortunate enough to be playing sports at Palama Sentiment, Kalakaua AC. You know, back then when you look at those 15, 16 in a row championships that St. Louis has won, if all of us guys went to Farrington could have been winning all of those awards. But a lot of us guys from Kalihi had opportunity to go to a private school and, you know, just...
I love that concept because people just went, wait, what? I want to talk about growing up in Kalihi and in the time that you did. Not a lot of people realize there's some heavy hitters and some hammers that came out of Kalihi. So if you're joining us, this is Culturized. We're sitting with Kimo Leong. We're going to talk about who he is and accepting Kuleana within his culture right here on Culturized.
Bringing you what matters. Viewers can receive the Star Advertiser Digital Full Access subscription for just $9.95 per month. Go to staradvertiser.com and click on subscribe. Use the code AHAITHING. For all your money needs, Hawaiian Financial Federal Credit Union is here for you. Visit HIFICU.com.
Hey, what's up, How's it? Aloha. Welcome back to Culturized. I'm humbled. I'm sitting with my good friend Kimo Leong, and we're talking about growing up in Kalihi, the opportunity to go to University Lab, but most of your day was spent in Kalihi. What was it like growing up at that time? Because you mentioned Kalihi Palama. Kalihi Palama was the epicenter to create amazing people, right?
Yep.
What was it like growing up from Kamehameha Ford, Jack in the Box, all the way down, and even Chinatown? You guys used to hang out, right?
So a lot of stuff that I do now, I look back, growing up has a lot of influence on what I do. Watching Palama Sentiment, which is a place where housing kids, right? Merite Housing, Lanakila Housing, Camp Ford Housing, KPT, Camp Kaumano Housing, Kakui Gardens, that we could go. They give us the opportunity to play sports. They helped us guys with education. But then also just watching my own dad, who, used to take home 7 Samoans, he was station wagon with us guys, and they became our family. They became our brothers, Every weekend, the same ones would come over, And just watching my dad do those things, and I look back at what I do now, that has shaped me to, give back and take care of people who are less fortunate than us, you know what I mean? Like, if I got $2, wow, you're going to have $1 and I'm going to have $1. And even though my wife going to be mad, so what? I going to feel good. I going to feel good because that's what we do. And that's what my parents has taught me. And
I love that because you were reading my mind, because I was going to ask you, growing up in your household, because I know your household was intense, right? Like you just said, you had extended ohana every single day. Like dad never just pick you up.
No.
He's picking up everybody that was, what are other things? Of course, dad just instilled in you to malama. You got to malama everybody and anybody, no matter who or their background. What other things do you remember growing up in the household that you bring into your adult life today?
I think my tutu man and tutu lady is always taking care of the keikis, and family was always number one. And always spending time on the weekends as a family, going Waikiki Beach, surfing, barbecuing. Back then, my dad used to park underneath a banyan tree right there by the wall.
Really?
He never ever parked on the street. And Dennis Salis used to be the lifeguard, and which is Kahu right now. And that was his stand right there. And so, back then, life was good, right? We just as young kids having a good time, but not really recognizing what was going on around us guys. But now at our age, you look back and what you do, those are some of the stuff that was instilled in you, whether you knew it or not. That's what we do.
I love that. So in Kalihi, after University Lab, where'd you go from there?
So from University Lab, I went to College of the Redwoods.
Wow. Okay.
Eureka, California for a year.
Well, that's at the top of California, right?
Yep, Northern California, Humboldt County, part of the Imperial Triangle. None of the stuff you hear about now was acting like that before, but there's still the same topics was going on over there. Hippie town, people growing pakalolo and all that stuff. But from there, I went to University of Southern Oregon. Wow. Stayed there for 8 years.
No way.
Yeah, I graduated. Got my degree, played ball there, did very well, played ball. Me and my wife loved it up there in Ashland. In fact, I got a lot of good friends who never came back. They just stayed, local boys that stayed back. One of them,
We were just talking about that earlier before you came. Like Oregon right now is like the hotbed of local people going, right? Nohea lives in Oregon. Our sound and video guy you guys were just there, right? They hung out in Oregon. what brought you back? Why did you? I mean, you loved Oregon.
So I think my biggest reason is my mother-in-law had a stroke, and I was up there for a year, and I had a good job. I was working at the college after I got done coaching football over there. Got a job over there. Was pretty much set. But I came home. I was living by myself for a year. I told my wife, "Yeah, I'm coming home. I'm not going to stay up here no more by myself."
Well, so that Kuleana kicked in. Again, that innate,
Yeah.
like I have to do it. Doesn't matter what you're doing currently in your life. You got to go Malama people. Because another big topic today is, is all of our Kanaka moving away, right? But you're living proof that, we can move away. We can go do our thing, but you got to come back and you make it happen. You make it happen because, again, it's about finances. Everybody's worried about this. But like you just said, you were just like, bruh, I got to go.
Yep.
No plan right now, but all I know is I got to go Malama, the Ohana. I like that thinking. And you talked about Tutu them. Did Tutu live you grew up with Tutu them in the house?
Yep, in Kalihi.
Wow, that's lucky.
Yep, at Camp Fort. So that was, my mom is a Lewis, and that was the Lewis compound. And so they had 4 houses over there. So and my house over there to this day that I rent is still the same original house.
Really?
Still get the same 8 holes that my Tutu lady used to put a lock on the bathroom door, you know?
So we're talking about, of course, your Kanaka side. Coming up in a few, I want to talk about your Chinese side, the Leong side, because I know that's a huge part of you as well. So if you are joining us, this is Culturized. This is where we get to sit down. I'm sitting down with Kimo Leong, Kanaka Solutions, a Kanaka doing Kanaka things, but realizing Kuleana and all these things that we can learn from him. So stay close because that's what we do here on Culturized.
Culturized, brought to you by Beachside Roofing, the leaders.
Hey, what's going on? What's up? How's it? Aloha. Welcome to Culturized. I'm so excited sitting down with my very dear friend Kimo Leong. And I forgot, you want to try some kava? Okay. Kapa kava. Okay, we got strawberry lilikoi and lihimoi mango. Strawberry. Okay. So I gotta thank my good friend Shelly. Wait, hold on. I want to make sure you get the full effect. But as we do, if you're joining us on Culturized, don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell, do what you gotta, or follow us on social media as well. But I guess in the Western world or the religious world, they say let's break bread. Locally in Hawaii and probably we say let's drink ava. So mahalo for being here, brother.
Mahalo for having me.
All right, so we're gonna continue on. We're talking about Kimo Leong, his upbringing, and how I love the fact that you bring everything into your adult life, even at the time you didn't know it. We know Kanaka Solutions. We know Kanaka doing Kanaka things, but you are a Leong.
Yep.
How much influence in the Chinese side was it growing up?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kinds of
family
things?
parties was, all my aunties and my uncles, everybody helped out. Everybody took care of the kids. And my tutu man, he used to be the president of Cam's Express Trucking. That's probably was one back in the old days. That was one of the biggest trucking companies. And we had our place right here at Puna where they have McCain auction is right now. That's where.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the Chinese side, would you say was about even the Kanaka side, Chinese traditions, Kanaka traditions, all in there?
All in one place. And it's funny because my sister just had her first 1-year-old granddaughter's birthday, and so Samoan side, they had the Samoan dance, and for the Leong side, the dragon.
That's see, that's where Culturized needs to be. They need to be sitting in the midst of all these cultures coming together and say, this is how we do it. We can get along. And it's funny because one of the things I say too when I MC luau's, I always tell people, I said, there's no place else in the world right now besides Hawaii or luau that it doesn't matter your ethnic background, doesn't matter your religious background, doesn't matter your anything. We're all here right now to share, right? Big influence on you as you grow up in Kalihi, you go away to school. You take all these values and all these family practices with you, and you move into your adult life. You come back to Hawaii, and you're doing it. So again, we go back to a lot of people are like, oh, I got to move away because it's easier, it's better. You had this Kuleana to move back. Then you started your family. I want to get into Kanaka Solutions. Where and when was it? We talked about it earlier that you realized this is your Kuleana.
Probably so Kanaka Solutions started way back in 1996, and as the years gone on, we started from the sand, taking care of all the security at the surf events, but proving ourselves to the people out on the North Shore. And now this day, we living in those $3 million homes for weeks, months at a time, taking care of people and just spreading the law. And that's all we notice is that we don't need to be bullies no more.
Right.
Those days are over. 90% of security nowadays is that one-on-one that you have with people and talking story and spreading that alloy. That's what it's all about.
I like that you just said the bully type of security has turned in now to protector and relationship wise. I'm tripping out at 96. That's how long we've known each other. Do you remember? So for those of you that are joining us, we're talking about Kanaka Solutions, where you originally started security with all the surf meets on the North Shore. So you not only, but they were hiring you to watch the houses.
Yes.
Like Billabong and who else?
Yep. So Quicksilver, Volcom, WSL. So literally I work for WSL now in the winter. And Vans. And
they say, Kimo, winter season's coming up. You're gonna live in this house and you're gonna watch over all these surfers.
We take care of them. We make sure their valuables are protected. They're protected. Nobody from outside coming inside. But then the surfing culture has changed too over the years, right? Before, alcohol, drinking, partying. Now all the athletes are healthy, and so maybe AHUPUA'A will bless us because we came in at the right time.
But you know what I say? A part of me likes to say it's because Kanaka Solutions came in, because you don't only secure these people, you actually educate them on how to be in Hawaii. So we're going to get more into Kanaka Solutions and what else you do besides surfers and surf meets and WSL. This is Culturized. We're sitting with Kimo Leong right here, getting cultured. Hey, what's up? How's it? Aloha, welcome back to Culturized. Sitting with Kimo Leong, Kanaka Solutions. You started in 1996 as security, right? For all the surf meets that were coming into the North Shore. But we get back to it. I like to say when you just said that the surf scene has changed a little. And I have to say, I think it's a little bit accredited to you folks because when we first met, I would love watching you. I think the first time was the Billabong house. You weren't only like, hey, don't do this, don't do that, watch out this. You were educating them. I'm telling you not to do this because this is how you're supposed to act in Hawaii. And these are the things you do and you're not supposed to do.
The whole thing, too, is about teaching these kids from the mainland to come here about respect. Like, this is our Aina, right? Your mother and father know their fears, so you put away your dishes, wash your dishes, throw away your dishes. These guys, these companies, and basically he's respecting the companies that is sponsoring you, right? They bring you here. The least you can do is throw away your rubbish because your mother know their fears. She's not going to pick up your food, your plate, no, nothing. No, you're going to do that. And I got to mahalo all those companies, yeah? All the companies that hire us, and that's every single one of them for letting Kanaka Solutions be able to do our thing, and not only the Malama and protection, but actually teaching these young kids about like respecting the companies that sponsor you.
Imagine you're a young surfer. It's winter season. You just got sponsored, and you're thinking, man, I'm gonna go live in the Volcom house, Billabong house, WS, and you walk in and you see Kimo, right? You're thinking like what he just said. He's just there to secure me. No. Wash your dishes, put away your clothes, put your surfboard away, right? You do all that. And I think that's what was missing. That's why I say the surf scene has changed a little in North Shore, because you came in and was like, boys, this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So from surf, because here's our connection too, was we did that whole Primo Beer tour, right?
Yep.
And you're gonna want to hear about that. But you did that tour, so was it from there that people started to notice other things that you do? Because after you're still doing the surf scene, but I want to get into now you're starting to protect other places, not just somebody is hiring you. What made you decide to do that? What was the first place you decided to protect?
During COVID, Wailani, who you had over here, KOKO,
Right.
he came on your show, he called. So we went out and helped a group called Protectors of Paradise. They have the curatorship from on the west side. And we went out there and helped them. And, man, we noticed every night that we was out there, we were spending 8-9 hours taking people off the beach. That was illegal camping, illegal bonfires.
Wow.
During park hours that was closed.
So that's during COVID. So see, I was thinking that because you'd hear that all these beaches were closed, but people were getting smart.
Yep.
That they were, let's go to the west
to
side.
the deep west.
Nobody's gonna go over there.
Yep.
Nobody's
exactly.
And so, KOKO they was like, hey, we need some help.
Yep.
So park closes what time usually?
7.
So from 7 on,
7 to 7 is closed.
Hundreds of people.
If you're not active fishing, we don't discriminate.
I like it.
You get 10 people, you better have 5 fishing poles, and that's what we call active fishing.
Wow.
And your poles better be those lines better be in the water, because we will check it. So, we've done it for 3 years. We go out there every single night to this present day. And now, as the state is opening up, us as Nakane Koa Makua, we also changed. And what we want to do is just put some small little things in place so that we can keep our AHUPUA'A and our area, our Aina that money hasn't touched, looking as beautiful as it is right now today and as prosperous, because everybody's enjoying all the i'a that they're gathering over there in the last couple months.
I'm going to continue on that Manao. That was amazing. We're talking with Kimo Leong. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Comment down below. We're going to talk about how you want to preserve, perpetuate, and practice culture. This is a good way to do it. Here at Culturize. Hey, what's up? How's it? Aloha, it's me, Makani. If you're joining us on YouTube, this is the extended version. This is where we get to talk smack about you. I'm just kidding. We're not going to. It's a place where we get to share culture. And, sometimes people want to get into culture. Sometimes they don't have a venue. They don't have an avenue. They don't really know what they're going to pili to or what is their Kuleana. And we're sitting with Kimo Leong. We talked about him realizing his Kuleana 5 or 6 years ago, with everything that you grew up being taught, and it all now comes to fruition. You created Kanaka Solutions, which is how would we even? I love Kanaka Solutions. Let's just put
it like this: if you got a problem, we get the solution.
I was just going to explain it exactly. They got the solution, whether it's security services, whether it's kia'i protective services, whether it's perpetuating culture, whether it's I even see you as a healer and a kuma and a teacher. So we're talking about MAKUA, where you first realized you got the call, which is amazing because Kuleana called you, and you started to protect from MAKUA down, or
so from Kaniana Cave to Keawaula, which is the end of the road, right? That little stretch. And it's funny because back in 2018, 2019 is when I really started feeling the mana, and the kapunas are watching you for sure. There is a sign, a lele kohola up on the top that says the kapunas are watching. And don't ever let that sign fool you, because they are. It's a lot of mana over there. And, we got to see a lot of physical manifestation on our own Lahui members out there, and how powerful it is when you're coming with disrespect or now an open mind, right? Coming with bad intentions.
People don't realize. So for those of you that are watching and don't know, and mahalo for using Keawaula, because a lot of people call Keawaula MAKUA Cave,
Adenals.
Yeah. So and it's funny because there's a sign right there.
The sign is right there. It's big. The pohaku is big.
And they say Yokohama.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, maybe not, but I found out that Yokohama is called that because when the train used to go there was the man that used to run the train his name was Yokohama, right?
Yeah.
So I would say it's a good practice if you do call it Yokohama to refer to it as its traditional name and that whole side. So those of you that are thinking, I don't go over there, you do go over there.
Well, it doesn't even matter if you go there. Anywhere you're at, we want to perpetuate the tradition. Just like your son, man, he almost made me cry because that's what it's all about, right? From our days, when I took Hawaiian culture in school, 4 of us guys, I think, was in our Hawaiian class for Auntie Kalama. And now to see that generation doing that, that's what it's all about.
We're moving forward. Kanaka Solutions is everything. So is there any other places besides Ke'awa'ula that you guys protect or?
No, we like to follow the old school rule. If your house is not clean, you can't go outside and clean nobody else's house.
Ooh.
And that's how we stand.
Say that again.
If your house is not clean, you shouldn't go out to nobody else's house and clean their house. So that's why you never seen us guys at Red Hill or anything. And even though I've got invitation to come, and that's what I love about Nakane Ko MAKUA is those guys will hold me to that when I forget.
I thank you for that. Mahalo huge for that, because a lot of times people don't see, this is the thing, and some of you can comment down below if you disagree. I always say this: a part of understanding Kuleana is to understand other people's Kuleana. However, you don't tell other people how to awamo their Kuleana, right? So like again, you bring up the Red Hill thing, the Mauna thing. It's like, sorry, that's not my Kuleana, right? I got to take care of my own.
We got other kia'is out there that is doing that, right? I mean, it's, and I don't fault them. That's their Kuleana, that's their kia'i, that's their lahui. But our lahui, because every night somebody's coming in, every single night.
It's funny because I was doing a seminar. I was speaking at a seminar, a healing seminar one day, and somebody, it was on the mainland, and they had asked the question, how do you know when a community isn't well, right? And I said, well, just look at the maintenance of the place. I said, as Hawaiians, we're connected to Aina, so you already know. If our Aina is lepo and it's not, and it's pilau, it's dirty, obviously the connection is bad. So when it comes to Kuleana, like I love that you just said that, you have to make sure your Kuleana, you malama yours first, and then.
Well, you just look at Makau Beach. All the locals go there.
Right.
Lelekohola, Kulailai, all the haoles go there, right? The locals are starting to come back at Lelekohola. The locals are starting to come back at Ke'awa'ula. And that's how you know we coming back slowly, right?
I always have this idea. It's totally out there, but I always say to myself, when we go to Ke'awa'ula, we should put up this big sign and put the words to an Oli Kahea, right? And anytime you go, even you Oli Kahea before you go in. Even if nobody's going to come, you're doing it to the kupuna who are there, right? I don't know, kind of out there, but I think we should do it, right? Puts everybody into the vibe. How many people, I know you talked about it earlier, when the beach closes, you guys are right there, and you don't just sit in the van and just I've watched you guys walk.
We get out. We always start at Ke'awa'ula first. And then we make our way back down because there's a scenic point that actually allows us guys to look along the shoreline of Lelekohola all the way to Kulailai. And so we can see the bonfires. But we know you out there because your car is in a parking lot. But we use that for our advantage to see where you located and how far we got to walk. Because the farther we got to walk,
I tell people why they shouldn't have bonfires.
Well,
there's a lot of reasons.
The whole thing about the bonfires is it's an oven.
Yeah.
And early in the morning, a lot of the keikis or kapunas, they come down to walk. They step on it. They get their feet burned. Nails are in the sand. Yeah. And the whole thing too is you just make our Aina look dirty because all that gray charcoal gets mixed up in the sand, and then I mean, I can't even talk. You just got to come down there and see how white sand really looks like. A beautiful, natural sand looks like. It's beautiful.
You ever get this? You know, you're walking down and you know, you're doing all these checks. You ever get, oh, Hawaiian, come on.
All the time.
No way.
But it doesn't bother me.
See,
most people down there, they know uncles over here. They know what we do. They respect it. Right. But again, I'm just here for you. I'm not blocking what you want to do. We're just trying to preserve what money hasn't touched. And if you look around the world, look around our state, money has touched a lot of stuff and ruined a lot of beauty. And out there, money hasn't touched anything yet. You know, only thing money has touched is the military on the other side of the road. You know.
I love that. We're gonna. I gotta bring you back because I know you guys are doing a lot of other things, and not only that, because you work in the film industry as well. Like I don't even know how you do it. Because I want to talk about our connection with Primo, but I do have to mahalo you too, though, because it was a few weeks back, right?
Yeah.
That you called, and you know, we did a hi'uvai in Waianae, but if you ever want to know what that was about, they can get in touch with you, and just realizing our kuleana, like I told you, as a kia'i, as a kumu, as a hile, and all these things we give you, we have to remember we cannot malama anybody else until, right? So mahalo for that. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Comment down below if you ever need any answer to anything, any solution. It's the Kanaka Solution that'll do it for you. Brother, thank you for making time and making the trek all the way to your old stomping grounds.
Mahalo.
Kimo Leong, my friends, right here on Culturized.